All right, guys, the first thing we're going to go over are the four different classes of recruits. The reason why they're broken up into four different classes is because there are different kinds of recruits, and you do not want to approach all recruits the same way. An obvious example is if somebody is a personal recruit or a not personal recruit, you're going to communicate to them differently. Or if somebody's experienced or non-experienced, the stuff that you're going to go over with an experienced rep is going to be different than somebody that's not experienced. Somebody's not experienced, you're going to be talking about how the industry works and how solar works, and probably not going to go into too much depth on the pay scale because they're not going to understand it. They don't know what sun hours are, they don't know what kilowatts are, they don't know what red lines are. So you're going to be going over different things. But with the experienced rep, they're going to want to know what the red line is and how fast your install times are and all that kind of stuff. So the different kinds of recruits are going to be broken up into four different categories. There's going to be personal and experienced, and then there's obviously non-personal and non-experienced. So class one is personal and experienced. Reps who are personal and experienced, that's the best combination that you can have, obviously. Because they're a personal recruit, there's already trust established, and they're also a little bit more reliable and predictable because they're experienced. You don't have to train them. Usually they're people that can take off really easily and are ones that are oftentimes the most used for organic growth. Personally, I like categories 1 and let me see here, and 2 for organic growth, because the trust and loyalty is the highest with them because you know them personally. When you don't know somebody and somebody's not personal, you don't know their background, you don't know their temperament, even if they're experienced in some cases, even if it's non-personal and it's category 3, non-personal and experienced. If you have an experienced rep who you don't know who's coming to come work at your company, the only thing you know about them is that it didn't work out at their last company. It's not necessarily a good sign. Sure, yeah, they're experienced and you don't have to train them, and it might be a little bit easier getting them up off the ground. But if an experienced rep is good, most of the time things are working out fine at their company and they're not going to come to you. However, it is a different situation if you are going to them and they are in a good situation, they're loyal to their company, they're selling a lot, they're doing well, and if you're pulling them from their company, usually those ones turn out to do really well. It's the ones that are looking for work where it didn't work out at their last company. Oftentimes you'll see a pattern where they've worked at a lot of different companies in a short while. So highest loyalty factor is going to be up at the top. What we're going to talk about today mainly are going to be categories 2 and 4. And these are going to be the non-experienced categories. Non-experienced reps, the way that you talk to them is going to be very consistent because you're going to be talking about the same things all the time. You're going to be talking about how solar works. If you do direct sales and door to door, you're going to be talking about what they do all day. That's a very similar conversation that you're going to have with most people. So experienced reps, again, those conversations vary drastically because they all are coming from different places, have different experiences. Some of them are managers, some of them aren't. Some of them work for big companies, some of them work for small companies. And there's not really a very predictable way to handle those conversations. There's a lot of strategy you can use on how to handle those conversations. So I'm not saying there's no good stuff that you guys can lean on in terms of content and trainings for that stuff. But for today's purposes, we're going to talk about how to handle non-experienced reps, both personal and non-personal. So next thing we're going to be talking about is going to be recruiting psychology. This is going to be one of the most important parts, so pay close attention to this.